Dear Santa, this year I was a very good guy. I got up to 10x return on ad spend for my clients, and I created a lot of free content that helped people around the world. I wish for the new year to keep and increase the return on ad spend for all of my clients and also get more referrals and expand my social media. Thank you. Kind regards, Archie Merwood. Are you wondering sometimes which audiences should I target to get the highest return on ad spend? Well, stick around because I am going to tell you about one of the most powerful audience strategies that will help you increase your sales. So for this, I'm gonna take an example to make it more clear so you can understand what I'm talking about. So let's say that we're gonna sell a jewelry. Now, if you're a brand new ad account, then you will need to stick to interests. But before you start choosing which interest you want to use for your ad account, make sure that you categorize them. When I'm saying to categorize the audiences, I am talking about stacking the interests that make sense. The last thing you want to do is to consolidate every single interest that comes up in your mind, because at that time you don't know which one is converting. So in the beginning, make sure that you are stacking interests based on their category. For example, maybe fashion magazines. So find out which are the fashion magazines and stack those interests in one single ad set. Or hobbies, or maybe some of your competitors. Now, one of the most common mistakes that I notice many people are doing when they launch an audience, they use interests that are very, very close to what they are selling. So for this particular example, if we said that we are selling jewelry, people will put all the interests that are related to jewelry, jewelry, art jewelry, custom jewelry, handmade jewelry. The problem with that is that particular audience is very, very competitive. Personally, I can use that audience only in one case: when your ad account is mature and it has some data. If you have a brand new ad account, then don't start with that audience, because you are going to waste a lot of money once we know that this audience is very competitive. Now, a common question that you might be wondering is, how do I come up with interests? So there are multiple options for that. One of that is to see your competitors' ads on your feed. And actually, there is a small secret that you can find out which interests they are using. For that, you have to go to your Facebook feed and you need to scroll until you find an ad from one of the brands that are selling the similar products like yours. And if you click on the three lines, you can see a section that says, "Why am I seeing this ad?" If we click here, you can find out what actually their targeting options. And for me, this particular ad was showed to me because Facebook thinks that I'm interested in pets. Now, in order to see ads from brands that are selling similar products to yours, Facebook needs to think that you are interested in those products. To do that, you have to engage with brands with their Instagram accounts, maybe to see their post, to like, to comment, and over time Facebook is gonna think that actually you are interested of that particular topic. The second option is actually to brainstorm who is your customer persona and then Google that category. For example, if we're talking about fashion magazines, then go ahead and Google what are the fashion magazines that you can target and make sense for you. And the third option that I'm constantly using is actually the suggestions thing. If you know at least one interest, then if you go to the ad set level and when you set that interest, you can click on the suggestions button and Facebook is gonna recommend you some similar interests that you gave them in the first place. Now, let's say that you've got mature ad account, you've got a couple thousands of website visitors, you have some social media engagers. What do you do now? So in this case, you can start using lookalikes audiences. Basically, this is an audience that look like audience that you've accumulated. Meaning is that if you have website visitors and you are creating a lookalike based on that, Facebook is gonna try to show your ads to people who look like your website visitor. To create a lookalike audience is very simple. The only thing you need to do is click on these three lines in your ads manager and then click on audiences. Now from here, we have to create an audience and then lookalike audience. So here we have to give Facebook a custom audience that we wanna create a lookalike from. Custom audiences are basically our retargeting audiences. If you're wondering about custom audiences, then check out this video because there I am talking very, very in depth about retargeting audiences. But for now, let's stick to our lookalike audiences. So let's say that we want to create a lookalike audience based on website visitors. Here we have just to select our website visitors, and then also we need to select our audience location. Then here we have to tell Facebook how broad this lookalike audience should look like. And we can select up to 10%. Now, if it's a 1%, that means it's gonna look very similar to our custom audience. If you go broader, then it's gonna look less like your custom audience that you give to Facebook. Back in the days, many people were using a 1% lookalike because that actually audience was converting the best. Now, because of the iOS 14 update and the lack of tracking, Facebook needs more data. That's why let's feed them with more information with a broader audience. And I highly recommend you to use from now on a lookalike of 3% above. The lookalikes I usually use is a 3, 5, 7, and 10%. Now with lookalikes, we have a lot of variations. We can create a lookalike based on website visitors, or social media engagers, or video viewers. Also, a very powerful audience is a lookalike based on purchasers, or VIP purchasers who spend more than, let's say, $100. Now, other lookalike audiences, the most powerful? Yes and no. You see, for every single ad account is different. It's not like using a lookalike 3% purchase is gonna get you the best results. For some ad accounts, lookalikes can work better. For others, interest can outperform lookalikes. That's why it's not a must-go. You have to test in your ad account, and then once you find out what's working, focus on that. Interests, lookalikes, these are very important things, but your creatives, the visual part, this can make a huge impact on your results. So check this video that I put and find out 8 powerful creatives that are converting now.